Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight for THV11 at 5:30. I'm Sarah Horbacewicz. We have a full desk tonight. I'm here with both Corrales Ortiz and Sierra Clark because it might be Super Bowl Sunday, but we have a lot going on right here at THV11. Sierra, what sports do we have going on today?
It is February, which means basketball season is in full swing. The women's team played today. The Razorbacks took on Mizzou, and that was a real exciting one. So we'll have highlights from that game later on in sports. And of course, the men lost to Mississippi State last night. So you're going to hear more from Coach Musselman on that game.
All right, March Madness already on the mind. Also on the mind, spring. I just want it already.
You know, it's right around the corner. We still have at least a solid month and a half or so before we really start to get into the spring season. It felt like it a little bit today. It was a beautiful day with all that sunshine. Let's take a look at what we saw for highs. They ranged anywhere from low to mid 60s across the region. A little bit cooler to our north and east, but nonetheless a beautiful day. It was about 5 to 10 degrees warmer compared to yesterday, which was almost 5 to 10 degrees warmer compared to the day prior. So we're slowly seeing that warming trend in the forecast, sitting in the low 60s to a few pockets in the upper 50s as of this evening, with temperatures dropping to around the low 40s to mid to upper 30s overnight. So not nearly as cold as where we were last night. As I mentioned, what we're tracking in the forecast is gradual warm up. We'll see 70s in the forecast sometime later this week. I'll have details on that, along with your Valentine's Day forecast looking a little bit rainy, and we do have the chance for some storms by the middle of the week. So more details are in your forecast coming up in minutes.
Tonight we have new information about a shooting we first told you about yesterday that killed 2 and hurt another in Lee County. Arkansas State Police have now joined the investigation. The shooting happened just after 2 p.m. yesterday near Martin Luther King and Florida Streets in Marianna. 32-year-old Albert Dillard of Forest City was pronounced dead at the scene, and 59-year-old Arthur Hill, also of Forest City, was pronounced dead after being taken to a nearby hospital. 32-year-old Davalon Taylor is the only person who survived the shooting, and right now he's being treated at a Memphis hospital, but his condition is unknown. We'll continue to provide updates here and on THV11.com as the investigation continues. Earlier today, another flying object was brought down on the president's orders. Tonight, Christian Benavides reports on the country's high alert status over the possibility of more unidentified flying objects in the sky.
Yet another foreign flying object shot in North America Sunday, this time above Lake Huron, according to lawmakers. The latest twist of the high drama playing out in the sky. It comes a day after an American aircraft under orders from both Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and President Joe Biden brought down the foreign flying object in Canadian airspace over the Yukon.
It represented a reasonable threat to civilian aircraft.
Success.
That incident also a day after President Biden ordered the takedown of a foreign object in Alaska on Friday. The wreckage sits on sea ice, and investigators are braving freezing temperatures and working with limited daylight. The object was flying at 40,000 feet, according to U.S. officials.
The predominant concern by the president was a safety of flight issue at that altitude.
That is a key kill.
Last Saturday, that suspected Chinese spy balloon was shot down after it went over the ocean near the Carolinas. It had already made its way through the continental U.S. The Biden administration said it waited to shoot it down over concerns for civilians on the ground. Republican Congressman Michael McCall says the balloon went over 3 nuclear sites.
I think if you look at the flight pattern of the balloon, it tells a story as to what the Chinese were up to as they controlled this aircraft throughout the United States.
The incidents have prompted lawmakers to ask for more details from the Biden administration. Little is known about the most recent objects shut down. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said today that he believed the 2 objects taken down in Alaska and Canada were also balloons, but much smaller than the one that was shot down last Saturday. If you're looking to buy a home or even sell yours, now might be the best time. And after a roller coaster of a housing market the past few years, THV11's Jalissa Garza spoke with real estate experts to find out why. Jalissa?
Yeah, Sarah, experts I spoke with today tell me that right now, when it comes to real estate, it's both a buyer's and seller's market, something that's enticing more people to move to the natural state.
It's been the best thing ever.
Real estate agent Ethan Phillips and his family moved to Arkansas a year ago. One reason behind the move, affordability.
Central Arkansas is way more affordable than a lot of areas currently are at the moment. So when you move into a house here, you're not, moving into a house that's overpriced in a market because it's a metropolis or something. You're more rural here.
He's not the only person who's made the decision to move here. Real estate executive broker Tamara McMahon says there's a lot of people wanting to call the natural state home.
Nevada, Oregon, California, Arizona, there are a lot of people from the West Coast moving to Conway, Little Rock, and Central Arkansas in general.
Both real estate experts say last year it was difficult to buy a home because of low interest rates making the market competitive.
You basically had to get into a bidding war with somebody a year ago and hope that you were the one of 20 people that bid the best on the house, and that was just the offer that they liked.
A lot of people were buying because why not? Why wouldn't you buy a house at 2-3%?
Luckily, the market isn't as competitive right now because interest rates are back up.
Now there is less competition, but I feel like houses are setting on the market a little longer, so buyers are able to go negotiate a little bit more and get something that they really want.
But with less competition, there aren't as many houses being sold.
In Pulaski County, from January 1st to now, this year we have seen 393 homes sold. But this time last year, from January 1st to now, we had seen 607 houses sold.
With more people moving to the state, McMahon says now is the time to buy or sell.
I have a lot of buyers. We just don't have enough houses. So if people want to sell their house, they should, because there are lists of buyers ready to purchase.
Overall, both experts say the market is bouncing back for both buyers and sellers. Sarah, back to you.
All right, thanks, Jalissa. Now, tomorrow is the last day of early voting in North Little Rock for the proposed public library system millage increase. Currently, the library is assessed at 3 mills on property taxes, but they are asking voters to approve an increase to 5 mills. The millage would provide $2 million in funding that the library says will go towards building improvements. The last day to vote is Election Day, and that's on Tuesday. Also on Tuesday, love might not cost a thing, but it's not cheap either. Anyone looking to secure flowers or treats for Valentine's Day knows what I'm talking about. And while inflation still impacts small businesses, as THV11's Brooke Buckner found, it's not stopping sweetheart shoppers this year.
It's a busy time of year here at Dempsey Bakery as customers are coming in buying sweet treats for their loved ones. The owner tells me some ingredients like eggs cost more than double what they did last year, and some of that cost has to be passed on to the customers.
You can tell, they may have to only get 1 cookie instead of 2, and, they're careful.
Dempsey Bakery owner Paula Dempsey says they've also had to make some baked treats smaller to stay afloat.
Some things we've been able to manage, even though they may not be getting as big of a piece. Our cheesecake slices are a little smaller.
Dempsey says they increased prices right before Thanksgiving, and customers are still willing to pay for their gluten-free items.
We have extremely loyal customers, and they support us 100%.
Even though certain desserts cost more, you could pay the same amount for flowers this year. That's what florist Judy Richardson is seeing at her shop.
I was just so amazed that everything was the same price as last year. The growers want the little florists and the big florists and everybody to do well and have a good Valentine's Day.
Richardson says costs went down just since January. Last month, she paid about 20% more for flowers.
They were a lot more, and of course, delivery charges were more.
And because of that, she's having to charge a delivery fee for the first time.
We just have to do, what they had to do to get them to us for us to get them to you.
She's also paying 35% more for helium this year, but doesn't plan to pass that cost to customers.
I only found out about it yesterday, and so my people some have already ordered, you can see. But we're just going to absorb that this year.
Be patient and please be loyal to your small business.
Brooke Buckner, THV 11 News.
According to the NRF, the top 5 Valentine's Day gifts this year are candy, greeting cards, flowers, a night out, and jewelry. All right, now before Valentine's Day, we have a different holiday today, Super Bowl Sunday. But for our furry friends, the day was all about the Puppy Bowl. Meet our friends Bratwurst and Chorizo in just 3 minutes. But first, more good news from Corrales Ortiz.
Yeah, the forecast was amazing today. We'll be seeing some warmer days in store in the forecast, but bad news for, those who want to celebrate maybe somewhere outside for Valentine's Day. Weather-wise, it's not looking the best. So I'll have your forecast coming up.